Hi there, I'm Prathysha Kothare, a freshman at Parkland High School. As you know, the focus of my study is on the mechanosensitivity of VWF's A2 domain. Now, before I get into the exciting details of my project, I want to emphasize its global health impact. As you may know, molecular dynamic simulations are emerging as the vanguard in medical innovation because they enable deep understanding of disease mechanisms on a fundamental level in both an efficient and cost-effective manner. This approach can be used to pre-screen and validate experimental studies to improve the lives of over 4 million people in the US alone currently debilitated by von Willebrand disease. In addition, by optimizing parameters to model in vivo protein environments, these dynamic studies can be extended to other critical disease mechanisms founded in mechanosensitive proteins, like the CD47 polypeptide that has been linked to cancer. Okay, so what is VWF? Well, as you can see here, VWF, or the von Willebrand factor, is a long multimeric protein responsible for regulating homeostasis. Now, its ability to do so is founded in the protein's A2 domain mechanosensitivity, which also triggers enzyme ADAMTS13 to regulate the size of these multimers for normal clotting function. Now, genetic mutations in VWF can seriously affect its clotting ability and induce symptoms like hemophilia and thrombosis. In my study, I studied one of these type 2A mutants, which has been shown to render short VWF fragments that are inefficient in regulating coagulation and induce hemophilia. Conversely, the artificial expression of a calcium ion in A2 has been shown to stabilize the monomer and render it more resistant to unfolding, giving it encouraging medical applications. However, the mechanisms by which both of these do so are still largely unknown. My project involved two components to study these A2 variants. First, I used optical tweezers to study the maximum unfolding force and maximum extension of the A2 wild type and the A2 mutation. I then used molecular dynamics as a theoretical validation where I investigated the unfolding force and beta sheet unfolding of the mutant, the calcium, and the wild type. So in my in vitro study, I used the WLC model to compare the maximum unfolding extension of the mutant to the wild type. In simulation, I compared force by extension, hydrogen bond by extension, and surface area by time graphs for all of the variants. Through my studies, I concluded that the 154 mutant is more susceptible to unfolding than the wild type, which explains its hemophilic behavior in vivo. I also proved that the calcium ion stabilizes the domain and renders it more resistant to unfolding, and finally concluded that both variants have significant impacts on the morphology of the protein during extension. Thanks so much for watching. Please send me any questions you may have and check out the rest of my website.